Welcome back to another retro shelf video, and as you can see, I've already unboxed this parcel from MITS Gazette. So we are looking at Volume 1 Issue 6 and Volume 2 Issue 1. So we have December 2025 and January 2026, and we'll start with the sad news covered in the December 2025 issue with an obituary to Rebecca Heineman, the architect of adventures. So, advert for Commodore, the contents, and the editor's notes, and the letters to the editor. And we start with the architect of adventures, the code that built our words, a loving tribute to Rebecca, synonymous with Interplay and the Bard's Tale series, battle chess with some amazing sprite work, and her work continued. The conversion of Another World released as Outer World in the US, and Doom for the 3DO, which has a fascinating development. And sadly, in later years, Rebecca lost her partner Janelle, and she herself said she's there now, reunited in Valhalla. So very sad story. Thanks to all the MITS Gazette's contributors who helped with this article, paying tribute to Rebecca. So then the MITS Gazette first look at the Commodore 64 Ultimate, amazing new product, unboxing, hardware, USB stick, and more. Spacelander type-in program to help you learn Commodore 64 Basic. The Pixel Resurrection, preserving old software by rewriting it. Interesting article there. Cracking the Palm. And then my regular Lost and Found article, this time looking at Hill 19 and Coven. Commodore's other machines in 2025, looking at some games for the PET, the Plus 4, the C16 and the VIC-20. A look at the 8-bit guy's new game Quarks, and chatting to David himself. Computes Commodore Corner with Perifractic. The Geos column with Bruce Thomas. Dialed Back, looking at BBS systems. Podcast Corner, looking at Antic, the Atari podcast. Atari Outpost, more programming sound. FujiNet Report with Thomas Cherryholmes. Mega 65 Digest with Dan Sanderson, telling you how to interact with your C65 and Mega 65 with joystick, paddle, second buttons, other controllers. The Made in Japan TRS-80 Model 1. Jingle Bells song for C64 to type in. Gift Drop by Jay Green. Fun to see an old-fashioned hex listing there. Mad Bad Trolls for the VIC-20 with 3K RAM expansion, and that looks like fun. Compute's first book of the Commodore 64 Ultimate coming soon. So back in the day, Compute published some very important books about the Commodore 64, including the one that included the SID player software, and planning something similar now. How does your retro hardware stack up? Comparing algorithms and execution times on various machines. The micro missions, a regular feature where you have to try and follow a basic programming challenge. The user group update, and now into the new look Amiga Resource. The Amiga is dead, long live the Amiga. So talking about the various recreations, the A500 Mini, the A1200 Mini, which is coming this year, the Mr. FPGA, the Apollo V4 Vampire, the Pi Amiga, Amiga Forever, the NG, the Re-Amiga, and the Alicia. 2025 Reader Survey. More Than Trackers, the latest true legacy of Amiga Sound by Paulie Bow. Alien Breed Special Edition review there. Advert for the Vintage Computer Festival, SoCal, happening very soon as this is, and advert for PCB Way. So, on to January 2026. The Commodore 64 Ultimate on the cover. Contents, editor's notes, letters to the editor, that new magazine smell, and Ultimate Christmas. So, people unboxing their new machine. Christmas morning 2025, More Than Nostalgia. Alternatives to C64 version 2 Basic. So Super Expander, Basic 3.5, Programmer's Basic Toolkit, and Tune Simon's Basic. So new sort of things you can do. Spacelander Part 3, the listing to learn Basic. The Curator's Gambit. The Retro Chip Tester Pro, helping test chips. The Dawn of the Microcomputer, talking about 50 years of the MITS Altair. Adventure International advert there. Type look, Scott Adams and the Birth of Interactive Storytelling. So, going back to some of Scott's games. The further sad news that Ben Versteeg, hardware expert from Fat Byte Delight, sadly passed away. Probably best known for the Div MMC Enjoy. Elite getting an Atari 8-bit port. And then 4 new C64 releases: Egg Feud, Marshoot and Phoebe, The Last Pumpkin, and Superstar Chefs from Donut 80. Played Egg Feud as of this recording, so that's cool to see. Halo Zero's unofficial Amiga remake from E-Rock behind the Scorpion engine. And then my latest Lost and Found article. So we're looking at the heavy hitters found for the Christmas 2025 update. So Thomas the Tank Engine 2 The Race and Sooty and Sweep 2. There's actually 2 different versions of Sooty and Sweep 2. So it gives you links to the download and talks about some related games and what else was in that update. And Commodore Corner, update from Perry Fractic and David Pleasant, the GEOS column. Dialed back BBS section. Gives you links to some modern BBSs. Podcast Corner, the Commodore Chronicles from Adam Dorer. More Atari Outpost, Programming Sound in Basic. The FujiNet Report with Thomas Cherryholmes. Mega 65, talking about sampling, signed and unsampled, unsigned samples, enabling audio DMA, PCM data, and so on. Tandyland, sweet side of serious computing, Tandy TRS-80 Model 2000. Wordy word guessing game for your Commodore 64, and there's the listing. And this is the MLX free automatic proofreader, which is listed on page 72. And there's the Spacelander Part 3 listing, the automatic proofreader, and MLX for entering machine code. The ISM Move listing from page 51, and all in the family. 2025 Reader Survey again there. The micro emissions, frequency hijack and dead drop protocol. Your user group update and retro computing festivals there mentioned. Into the Amiga Resource. So, how Amiga transformed professional media with the video toaster, famously used in Babylon 5 and Sequest DSV. The Task of Zorro, Amiga cards, expansions explored. Lemmings, a classic journey through chaos. And this Vintage Festival SoCal. So, that's the 2 latest issues of Computer's Gazette. Very proud to be working on the magazine, and I hope more of you will be interested in reading and subscribing. So hit the website in the links and tell me what you think of the revived Computes Gazette.